Good day once again from the International Space Station Flight Control Room here at the Johnson Space Center in Houston. You are looking live at a view from an external television camera on the Soyuz MS-13 spacecraft, which launched just over 5.5 hours ago from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan on this historic day, the 50th anniversary of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landing on the moon on the lunar module Eagle to culminate one of humankind's greatest achievements on the mission of Apollo 11. 3 new residents headed for the International Space Station with docking scheduled just 50 minutes from now. This Soyuz spacecraft will link up to the aft port of the Zvezda service module to complete a fast-track 4-orbit, 6-hour ride from the launch pad in Baikonur to the International Space Station that will be home for Aleksandr, Skvortsov, Drew Morgan, and Luca to the International Space Station have gone by the book, all pre-programmed commands loaded into the Soyuz computer, and if all goes as planned, this will be an automatic docking to the aft port of the Zvezda service module. In the unlikely event something would go awry, then Soyuz Commander Aleksandr Skvortsov can take over manual control of the flying of the Soyuz vehicle to bring him and his crewmates in for a link-up to complete this journey and to double the size of the International Space Station from its current occupancy of 3 to a half-dozen crew members on board the complex. All of this activity involving the Soyuz vehicle is being controlled from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. The 3 new residents, including NASA astronaut Drew Morgan, Aleksandr Skvortsov, the Soyuz commander in the middle of your picture, and on the right, European Space Agency astronaut Luca. Skvortsov in his 3rd flight into space, the 2nd for Parmitano, the 1st flight into space for Drew Morgan, who will be joining, this trio will be joining the current Expedition 60 residents on board the station, led by Station Commander Alexei Ovchinin of Roscosmos, along with NASA astronauts Nick Hague and Christina Cook, who will be welcoming the 3 new crew members on board the station later tonight when hatches are scheduled to open around 7:50 p.m. Central Time, 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time.
1 minute and a half until inaudible.
As we mentioned earlier, the Soyuz MS-13 space. And once again, this view from the cross-haired engineering camera on the exterior of the Soyuz vehicle. You can see in the lower left-hand corner the distance between Soyuz and the International Space Station is 5.7 kilometers, and the value just underneath it in the lower left-hand corner is the rate of closure, almost 8 meters per second. At the time of contact and capture, the Soyuz will be traveling at a glacial 1/10 of a meter per second. At contact and capture, there will be a few seconds in which the relative motion between the 2 vehicles will be allowed to dampen out before the forward docking probe retracts on the Soyuz to essentially pull in the 2 docking interfaces between the Soyuz and the aft port of the Zvezda service module, setting the stage for the closure of the hooks on the service module to form a hard mate. Was employed so that the Russians have another docking port available for an unpiloted Soyuz vehicle that is scheduled to launch next month on a test flight on an upgraded Soyuz 2.1A booster to prove the worthiness of that booster to accommodate human Soyuz missions with astronauts and cosmonauts on board that would begin next March. Again, a view of the International Space Station from the MS-13 external camera. We are 3.5 kilometers away from docking, closing at a rate of 7.8 meters per second, everything going exceedingly well. The Soyuz engines are conducting a series of so-called impulse burns, very small thruster firings that are employed to fine-tune the Soyuz's path during the home stretch of this rendezvous that will carry Drew Morgan, Luca, and Aleksandr Skvortsov to a docking some 35 minutes from now. The crew has reported throughout the course of the day following their launch from the Baikonur Cosmodrome that they feel well. All of the Soyuz systems are operating flawlessly, and everything is proceeding on track for a link-up that will bring the crew in for its docking to the aft port of the Zvezda service module shortly.
Утесы.
Третий импульс. We're standing by for
01:17:25 расчетное время. На дальности 2 километра.
at the range of 2 kilometers.
Да, принято.
Copy, Moscow.
Soon to greet one another in orbit, flying 254 miles above Bogota, Colombia, moving from southwest to northeast in an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. We're about 7 minutes away from the initiation of the fly-around. This view from a camera on the International Space Station. You're looking at the Soyuz MS-12 spacecraft. That is at the Earth-facing port on the Roscosmos module of the International Space Station. That is the Soyuz vehicle that carried Christina Koch, Nick Hague, and Alexei Ovchinin, the current station commander, to the space station back on March 15th.
Station Houston on space to ground 3. Good evening, Christina. Just a friendly 5-minute heads up on cupola shutter close constraint. And also I have you, Pluto's discovered that the JSL firewall is in fact blocking the iPad Fit app. So we'll need some time during the week to run that down.
Copy 5 minutes, and we also copy the good news that we have a presumed solution for the Fit app. And we have tally-ho on the vehicle. We'll make sure the shutters are closed within 5 minutes.
Copy. Tally-ho.
Once again, the view from the external camera on Soyuz MS-13, just 1.2 kilometers, 1,200 meters, separating the Soyuz from the aft port of the Zvezda service module, closing at a rate of just under 4 meters per second. And there you can see the windows on the cupola being commanded to be shut by Christina Koch, who has been looking out those windows, trying to capture views of the Soyuz during its final approach for docking. The flight rules call for those windows to be closed on the cupola as a protection for those very precious windows and their external scratch panes during the time of final approach, so that they're not impinged by any Soyuz thruster firings as it approaches the close proximity of the International Space Station. The Soyuz now about 1,000 meters away, as we are now just about 4.5 minutes away from the start of the fly around to the International Space Station.
Started firing. This is the first one. Copy. We are seeing that. Unintelligible.
Soyuz and its 3 occupants, Aleksandr Skvortsov in the center seat of the descent module as the Soyuz commander, flanked to his left by board engineer number 1, Luca of the European Space Agency, and Drew Morgan, board engineer 2, seated in the right seat, now 835 meters away from the aft port of the Zvezda service module, closing at a rate of 2.3 meters per second. And the visiting vehicle officer here in Mission Control reports good impulse burns of the Soyuz thrusters. Once again, these are small mid-course correction burns to fine-tune the Soyuz path to reach the beginning of its fly-around, which is scheduled to get underway less than 3 minutes from now.
I can do that. This is Luca. Great. Now we are receiving a wonderful picture.
And a good view of the International Space Station from that external camera.
The station is now very clear. Thank you.
And from the International Space Station, our first view of the Soyuz MS-13 as it approaches the neighborhood of the International Space Station, right on course, right on time for the start of its fly around just 2 minutes from now, docking scheduled 25.5 minutes from now. The 2 vehicles, separated now by just a few hundred meters, are flying 254 miles over the Atlantic Ocean, moving from southwest to northeast, soon to enter an orbital sunset. "50 years ago at this hour, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were preparing to suit up earlier than planned to begin their historic first footsteps on the moon. 50 years later, a trio of multinational space explorers closing in for a docking to the International Space Station to continue and expand the crew size on board the complex, as well as the unbroken permanent human presence on the international outpost." approaching the 400-meter mark between Soyuz and the International Space Station.
Назначился облет.
Fly around has started.
Принято облет.
Copy. Fly around is confirmed.
And confirmation that the fly around by the Soyuz of the International Space Station has begun. 370 meters separating the two vehicles. Soyuz closing at a rate of just over 1 meter per second. This fly around will precisely align the Soyuz with the aft docking port of the Zvezda service module that was launched 19 years ago atop a Proton rocket from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. This is a 67-degree fly around, once again precisely aligning the Soyuz with Zvezda. Flight controllers at the Russian Mission Control Center will spend a few moments evaluating all the systems on the Soyuz vehicle before the automatic command to begin final approach is initiated. Just over 6 hours ago, this vehicle sat atop a Soyuz booster in the Central Asian desert, and now just minutes away from reaching its destination at the International Space Station. Russian flight controllers at the Russian Mission Control Center on the outskirts of Moscow have reported that the Russian segment is go for docking. Everything in readiness for the expected link-up of Soyuz to the aft port of the Zvezda service module less than 20 minutes from now. And a spectacular view at an orbital sunset of the approaching Soyuz MS-13. As it flies past the Soyuz MS-12 on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the station, docked to the Rosviet module. Two human spaceflight vehicles, like ships passing in the night, as the MS-13 seeks its port at the aft of the Zvezda service module. The MS-13 continuing its fly around that will align it to the aft port of the Zvezda service module just a couple of moments from now for a brief period of station keeping. About 2/3 of the way through the fly around. Once again, that station keeping period, which only lasts just a few seconds, allows the Russian flight controllers in Korolyov at the Russian Mission Control Center an opportunity to check the Soyuz systems before the initiation of the automatic command for final approach is offered. The two vehicles about 200 meters from each other. And you can see thruster firings on the Soyuz, all automatically controlled by its onboard computers as it prepares to park itself for a short period of time just a couple of hundred meters to the aft of the Zvezda service module.
Как наблюдаете станцию по
Lucy, can you see the station via the VSK? Yes, we can see it through the periscope very well. We can see it very well through the VSK. It's illuminated well. And the docking node is a bit dark, but that was expected. Copy. Yes, we can see the same through the camera. Yeah, we see that it is dark. That's correct.
And you can see the Soyuz rolling into the proper orientation for its solar arrays in advance of the start of final approach.
The illumination, floodlight, and please send the final approach command once the illumination is on. Okay.
Soyuz now in station keeping.
On the floodlight. Yes, you can send the final approach command now. Copy.
Flight controllers in Korolyov happy with what they're seeing. The command about to be given for the start of final approach.
So we are go to send the final approach command, correct? Yes, you're go. It work? Okay, so okay, so we are not switching to the wide angle anymore. That's correct. We are gaining some speed here. Copy. We can see that. We can see the station. It's stable. I can
Final approach now initiated. 160 meters separating Soyuz from the International Space Station, closing at a rate now of 0.7 of a meter per second.
And the flight light as well, correct? Okay, I'm just double checking. Copy. It is illuminated. Wonderful. So we are within the approach corridor and everything is nominal. Copy. The docking node, the docking port is visible. I can't see the target yet. Copy.
Inside 100 meters, closing at a rate of 0.5 meter per second. Soyuz in the International Space Station about to fly directly over London.
In accordance with course data, you're 90 meters away. That is correct. We are within the approach corridor, where the range is 0.82. We are braking right now. It is around 0.35 meters per second. Copy.
метров.
70 meters. I confirm, based on the docking port angles, that it is approximately 0.3. Meters left. Okay, copy. You can try to send AGC one more time. Do you want me to send AGC one more time? Try to do it, please. Maybe it will be, you'll see everything better in this case. Okay, let me try to do it right now. I'm sending this command right now. Oh, yeah, it's much better. The range is 55 meters. 0.2 meters per second is the rate. Everything is nominal, but I still can't see the target. Copy. Okay, copy. I believe you will see, the closer you are, the better you will see the target.
Slowly but surely, the Soyuz negotiating the final 50 meters prior to docking, closing at a rate of 0.2 of a meter per second. You're looking right up the barrel there of the aft port of the Zvezda service module. That's the destination for MS-13 and its 3-man crew.
1:46. It is 1:41 right now, so we still have a good 5 minutes. Do you mean docking when we have all the lights on? Actually, I believe that we will be able to dock before there is an eclipse there. Copy. 40 meters based on the angles of the docking port. We are ready for SSVP, the docking mode execution.
The Soyuz aligning itself with the crosshairs on the docking target at the aft port of the Zvezda service module.
I think I see the target right now. It is slightly to the right, and it's lower than the crosshair. So this is where the roll axis is. This is where the target is. Okay, copy.
Only about 20 meters left. Everything going smoothly. We're about to lose the Soyuz behind structure.
I can see the target clearly.
This view now from Soyuz, closing at a rate of 1/10 of a meter per second. Good alignment on the docking target.
Higher and a little bit to the right from the crosshairs. There is still some wiggle room here. I don't know.
Принято.
Copy. The rate is 0.1 meters per second. And 22 meters is the range. The docking mode execution has been prepared. You can see it on the left and below the crosshairs. Copy. It's along the roll axis. The target is almost at the center. Copy. Okay. 0.1 meters per second is the rate. It's nominal. 4 meters is the range at the moment. There will be a slight deviation still. Yeah, but look, I think it's getting better. I'm expecting contact.
Contact.
Confirmed.
Contact confirmed. Capture confirmed.
Mechanical
Docking confirmed.
We confirm the same.
Docking confirmed at 5:48 p.m. Central Time, 6:48 p.m. Eastern Time over southern Russia. On the 50th anniversary of Tranquility Base, a multinational crew has pulled into port at the International Space Station.
1:48. Is it illuminated? No, it's not illuminated. Everything is nominal. Copy. Which also welcome
The International Space Station in free drift. The docking probe is beginning to retract. A textbook journey from launch pad to International Space Station for Drew Morgan, Luca Parmitano, and Aleksandr Skvortsov.
Turn the lights on. Just like that. Thank you. Unintelligible. Copy.
The retraction of the Soyuz docking probe will enable a hard mate between the two vehicles and the closure of the service module hooks. That will set the stage for about an hour and 40 minutes of leak checks on both sides of the docking interface, the precursor to the hatch opening that is scheduled just before 8 p.m. Central Time tonight.
Have you done that, Luca? Yes, I have. Hey, Andrew? Yes? Can you please get the MV, cosmonauts MV, pressure gauge?
Once again, docking occurring a few minutes ahead of schedule at 5:48 p.m. Central Time, 6:48 p.m. Eastern Time over southern Russia to complete a journey of just over 6 hours and 20 minutes from the time of the Soyuz's launch from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan earlier today.
Is it closed? Affirmative. RPV-1 is closed. Yes, I can confirm that. Copy. And now we are standing by for your readings per table 9.1. The pressure per the MV pressure gauge. Stand by.
Выдает 800.
827 is the pressure. 827. 28. 828. The ISS pressure is 821. BO pressure is 809, and BO pressure is standby. 844.
The docking probe has retracted. The service module hooks are currently driving to form a hard mate between the two vehicles.
This is Baikonur.
Алло.
Yes, hello. Come again? This is Baikonur, Uchose. How copy? I did not understand anything. Yeah, me neither. Uchose, Baikonur, how copy? I believe it's Baikonur. Are you asking us if we can hear you? Yes, this is Alexei. Baikonur tried to call you. Yes, Baikonur tried to call you. We have you loud and clear, Baikonur. Alexander, good evening. Congratulations on this successful docking, successful contact. How are you feeling? How was the flight? Thank you very much for your kind words. Everything is great. The crew is feeling well, and we are ready to proceed. Please say hi to Andrew and Luca. And we were slightly worried, as usual. It happens every time. But we knew that everything would go well, and everything went very smoothly. Our colleagues from NASA and ESA are here, and they're also greeting you and saying congratulations. Great job. Everything went really well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You will join the station crew shortly, and Alexei, Nick, Christina will be there. They're looking forward to seeing you finally. And I believe that all the leak checks will be nominal. And we're already missing you guys. And Fyodor, your chicken is also saying hi because he misses the station. Yes, of course, we will try to call Fyodor as well. This is Alexei. Thank you very much for kind words. All right, guys. I'm sure that the scientific program and the expedition program will be completed in full, and we have no doubts about that. Copy? The head of the European Space Agency would like to say congratulations to you as well, and after that we'll continue. Luca?
Hello, this is Jan Werner. Congratulations to the team, to the crew, and congratulations also to all who brought you there.
Thank you. We had a great time. We had a great time flying up, and it's really cool to be here. The spacecraft is perfect, and we are doing just great.